exactly right. For example, people who had religious reasons for not wanting to be part of the British church and wanting to have something a little different. Josiah?
A good farmland.
Yeah, they liked the good farmland in America as well. There was so much of it. And some of them were even forced to go there. There were some people who, like Eric the Red, were banished from their home country and they were forced to go to the United States. So we're going to keep hearing about that in the classes today and tomorrow. And then next week, we're going to dive into each of the individual colonies. So we'll learn about Virginia, how that was started. And then we'll get into each of the other colonies and focus in on those. Okay, well, let's get started on the Pledge of Allegiance and school motto and then start our classwork today. It sounds like not as many comments about this as usual. Would anybody like to start the pledge and school motto to lead us in that? Saha Nasri, I'd love for you to do that for us.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republic of the United States of America.
And to the Republic for which it stands.
It stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor. I will honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. Respect. I will show respect to others at all times. Service. I will do good things for others without being asked. Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragements.
Nasri. Everyone, please join me for a moment of silence. Okay, boys and girls, well, let's start on some phonogram and spelling review today. Can you show me your whiteboard and marker once you take it out? Alina's ready already? Marcus, do you have a whiteboard that you can write on? Excellent. Oh, Harika, that's a nice one. Okay, boys and girls, the first one to write for today is k, two-letter k, used only after a single vowel, which says a, I, k, two-letter k. Please write it. It should look like this. Okay, and the next one, let's do another one that is after a single letter vowel that says a. We'll do j, three-letter j, used only after a single vowel, which says a. J, three-letter j. Excellent. It should look like this. If you weren't sure about that, write it now. Marcus? I know the phonograms are kind of new, so if you don't write it correctly the first time, you can write it once I hold it up, okay? And you write D, G, E and underline it for J, three-letter J, used after a single vowel, which says a, I, a. Marcus, right here. We've got to speed this up though, Marcus, because we have just a small time for phonograms. So you've got to be ready to go with your marker, writing it as soon as I say it. Great job. Okay, boys and girls, let's next do ch, three-letter ch, used only after a single vowel, which says a, I. Ch, three-letter ch. Think of like the word catch. Tag, we should have 3 letters in this one. Ch, three-letter ch. Write the letters we would use in catch or watch. Great job. Marcus? Can you write ch, three-letter ch? Think of what would be in the word catch. Perfect. Well done. Next up is g, two-letter g, always followed by a vowel. You guys remember that one? G, two-letter g, always followed by a vowel. We would use this in the word guess. Wonderful, everybody. Dikshita, your camera's not working. Can you turn it on, sweetie? And last phonogram to write is two-letter . Like in writing. Can you think what makes the sound in writing? Well done, everybody. Great job. Okay, now let's move on to some spelling review. We have a test tomorrow. We've had less time than usual, to review because of our ACT Aspire testing Monday and Tuesday, but we are still going to take our test tomorrow. Does anybody want to ask about specific words that you had a hard time with? We're going to focus on just the ones that might have been a little tricky. Does anybody have some words that they know are a little harder for them? Maybe we'll do chandelier. That would be a good one to review, I think. And then Aryansh, do you have another one? After writing chandelier, we'll get to Aryansh's.
Municipal.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. Let's start with chandelier. Everyone, please write chandelier.
Chandelier.
Chandelier. Chandelier should look like this. E-I piece of pie is what makes that E sound in the last syllable. I think that's the only thing that could be a little bit tricky. Also, it could have been tricky to think of the ch, sh for the first sound. Okay, let's do Aryansh's next word that he mentioned, municipal. We think to spell municipal. Okay, anybody else have some specific words they had a hard time with? Otherwise, I'll just go through the ones that are a little bit tricky with think to spells. Okay, here's municipal. Next, let's do mortgage. Do you remember how we think to spell that one? There's a silent syllable or silent just phonogram in it. Samhita, how do we think to spell it?
We think to spell it as mortgage.
Excellent. Mortgage is the thing to spell. Good morning, Grishith. We've already started some phonogram review, so would you take out your whiteboard and marker? We're writing mortgage right now. Good. Mortgage. Next, let's do apologetic. Apologetic. Good. Make sure you've got a G making the J sound, and there's no double consonant. I think some people did a double L, but there should not be a double anything. Alexandra, it looks like that's what you did too. That's a pretty common mistake. Only one L though. Apologetic. Next, let's do possess. Possess. Aryansh? Sorry, the connection's a little bit choppy for some of you. So if I'm not calling on you right away, even with a hand up, it's just because I can't quite see. But Aryansh, it looks like your hand is up.
So, I think I know why most people put a double L, because Apollo, like the god, the Greek god Apollo, I think that's what people could think of.
Oh, good point. That probably is it. Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought of that before, but maybe that's why. Okay, for possess, 2 double S's. Possess. Make sure you have both double S's. Think of, I possess a lot of S's. Okay, we'll leave it at that for review today. You can erase your board. We'll do a little more review tomorrow. But unlike what we usually do, we're not going to cover every single word this week before taking the test. So if you feel like you want a little extra practice, I would recommend opening up your orthography notebook and doing some review there. The lessons you would look for are lessons 81 through 88. So if you want to look in your orthography notebook, lessons 81 to 88 are the ones that are going to be on the quiz or test tomorrow. Okay. Let's get started on some new spelling words today, though. So would you all take out your binder? We're also going to review our poem, The Hayloft. I'm going to present my screen. Over to The Hayloft. I was originally going to have us recite this week, but we haven't had much time to review, so we'll do that next week, actually. Okay, can you say it with me? Through all the pleasant meadowside, the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining sides went far and wide and cut it down to dry. Those sweet, green and sweetly smelling crops, they led the wagons home, and they piled them here in mountain tops for mountaineers to roam. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. The mice that in these mountains dwell no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place for play! With the sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson. Would somebody like to say that for us? Okay, Josiah. And then we'll get to Kruthi and Tig. Each of you get a turn.
For the present mellow side, the grass grew shoulder wide, and the shining skies went far and wide, and cut it down to dry. The green and sweetly smelling crops led the wagon home, and they piled them here in mountain tops for mountain ears to roll. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. And
The mice?
the mice that in these mountains dwell no happier than am I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place of play! With the sweet dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Great job, Josiah. The Hayloft. Okay, Kruthi, you want to say it for us next?
The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson. Through all the pleasant meadowside, the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining sides.
That's a hard one. Can you all say sides?
Sides. Till the shining sides went far and wide, and cut it down to dry. Those green and sweetly smelling crops, they led the wagons home, and piled them here in the mountain tops for mountaineers to roam. Here's Mountain Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mountain Eagle, and Mountain High. The mice that in these mountains dwell no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place for play! With sweet, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Great job, Kruthi. Well done for you as well. Okay, and we'll finish with Tig. Everyone else, you should have your binders ready to go for your lesson.
The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson. Through all the pleasant meadowside, the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining sides went far and wide and cut it down to dry. Those green and sweetly smelling crops, they led the wagons home, and they piled them here in mountain tops for mountaineers to roam. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. The mice that in these mountains dwell no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place for play! With the sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Great job, Tig. Excellent. And was it fun to hear about the hang time with Farmer Boy yesterday, already after kind of knowing this poem and thinking through the process that goes into taking hay down? So we are going to learn another Farmer Boy poem actually next, or it'll be the next poem that we learn that's also all about farming. So I think that you're going to enjoy that one too. Let's move on though to our new lesson. Can you all show me your binder and pencil so that you can see you're ready to begin? Okay, let's start off with the word perceive. Would you all say perceive? Perceive means basically take in and have an understanding of something. Like, I perceive that we'll be able to go outside a lot more this summer than last summer. It's my perception, turning it into a noun. So you're perceiving something, or maybe if somebody is giving you the cold shoulder, you could perceive that they're frustrated with you about something, right? Cold shoulder means ignoring someone. So you could perceive that something's wrong, something's bothering that person. Okay, sound out perceive with me, please. Perceive. 2 syllables. And the first syllable, we're going to use the ear of her. Next syllable, sieve. What sounds do you hear? S, e, v. 3 sounds. The s sound is from k, s. And when it's followed, when you have that e sound after the letter C, we use the AE phonogram. Do you guys remember the spelling rule, I before E, except after C? Well, this is one of those exceptions. It's after C, so we need to use the phonogram AE that we do not use at the end of English words. And the last sound is V, perceive. So what do we need at the end? V is at the end of this word. Can we have a V at the end of a word? Nope. So we need a silent final E, job 2, because English words do not end with U or V. Please pick up your pencil to write perceive. Perceive. Can you all hold up the word as soon as you're done as well? Perceive is the word. Syllable break. S, e, v, silent final E. Perceive. Check that your spelling matches mine. Cross it out and rewrite it if you need to. Alina, would you like to say the markings?
Okay. So underline earlier of her. Put 2 on top of the C. Underline the AE that we do not use at the end of English words. Underline the V and double underline the E, job number 2.
Excellent. Okay, this word is a verb. Now, the next word we have is possibly one you haven't heard before. The word is precipice. Can you all say precipice? Has anybody heard of this before? Ty, you think you have?
Well, I can't really define it, but I've heard it in a song before.
Oh, can you remember what part of the song it was?
No. All I remember is it saying precipice.
Okay, good to know. Well, maybe now that you'll know the definition, you'll be able to put it in context with the song. But it's basically like the edge of a cliff. So it is a very steep rock face or cliff. And occasionally it's also used for like when you're just on the edge or the brink of something in general. But more literally, it's that rocky cliff edge, basically. Does that make sense in the song?
No, not at all.
Okay. So precipice, we think to spell this one as precipice. Actually, let me double check on that one because there's basically like ice at the end of this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and think of it as precipice. Sound it out with me, please. Precipice, 3 syllables. Now in the first syllable, we have p, r, e, 3 sounds. That's basic code. Next, s, I, 2 sounds. That's k, s, saying its second sound because it's followed by I. Preci. And finally, p, I, s, 3 sounds. We're going to have a silent final E at the end of this as well. That's why you can think of it as precipice to remember it there. But it's really there to make the k, s, say its second sound. So pick up your pencil, please, and write precipice is the way to think of it. Precipice. Thank you, Alina. Everybody else follow her example and hold it up when you're done. Precipice, p, r, e, syllable break, s, I, syllable break, p, I, s, silent final E. Okay, so precipice, check that yours matches mine, and if it doesn't, then cross it out and rewrite it. Would anybody like to mark the word? Okay, thank you, Josiah.
In the second syllable, put the thinking cap above the C. And then
Actually, we'll put a 2 above the C, precipice.
the fifth syllable, we underline the I.
Hey, Josiah, you'll have to come right in front of the computer when you talk because it gets muffled if you go to the side.
You underline the I, and you put the two above the C, and you double underline the E, and it's making a job number 3.
Good.
1.
Good. We're going to actually not do job 1 for this one though, because we do say precipice. It just is helpful to think of precipice because usually we would have that vowel consonant vowel pattern. Okay, thank you, Josiah. This one is a noun. Next word is not, I don't think from the same base word, but it does sound similar. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave the call and come right back.
Hero teachers here right now. Do do do. We are farmers. Do 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 do.
Sounds like Tig was taking over while I was gone for just a split second. Oh, goodness. I should have expected that. Okay, now our next word, once again, I don't think it comes from the same base word, but it is the same first 2 syllables. It's precipitation. Precipitation. What's precipitation? Emma, do you know what it is? Oh, you got excited. I thought maybe you knew it. Harika, do you know it?
No.
Okay, so it means, oh, go ahead, Kruthi.
It means like kind of related to like how rain forms.
Very good, rain, exactly. And actually, I'm wrong. It does come from the same base word because a precipice literally means to throw headlong. So like the word precipice is the cliff edge, and it technically means like to throw over something. And then precipitation is like thrown from a cloud, those raindrops. So it actually does have the same meaning. I think that they're both from Latin. Oh my goodness. Actually, it also comes from caput because it's headlong. Precipitation and precipice, it comes from that caput, head. So you're going headlong over the cliff, or the raindrops are basically going head down from the clouds. Kind of funny connection. Okay, so precipitation is the word. Say it with me, please. Precipitation. 5 syllables.
Nobody likes oatmeal.
Some people like oatmeal, Harika.
I like oatmeal.
Okay, let's say the word again. You were unmuted for a minute. Precipitation. 5 syllables. Say it with me. Precipitation. 5 syllables. Precip, those are the same as the ones we just wrote. Then we have I, just I-E. Te is t-a, a is in an open syllable saying its name. And then there's the shan suffix. Precipitation. Please pick up your pencil and write it. And hold it up when you're done. Precipitation. Precipitation. Okay, so could I have Tig mark it for us?
Yes. For the first syllable, the E is saying its sound.
So what do we do?
Underline it.
I follow your command.
Second syllable is basic code.
Not
So is
quite.
the third syllable. Oh no. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Okay. Let me get caught up here. Okay, I'm caught up. No. The C in the second syllable is saying its second sound.
Correct.
And the third syllable is basic code 2. I mean, not 2. It is basic code.
Yes. And
in the fourth syllable, the A is saying its name.
so what do we do?
Underline it. And then for the final syllable, we there's a 2-letter phonogram at the beginning.
So what shall we do?
We shall underline it. And then this beautiful word is done.
Not quite, sire.
Oh no, is it the you put a thinking cap above the O.
Correct.
Do. Time to mute.
Bravo, dear sire. Bravo.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and what shall we label this word?
It is a noun.
It is a noun. Now, for our next word, our word is commend. Would you all say, please, commend? Now, I commend Tig for a job well done with his markings. That means
Thank you
I
very
praise him. So this next word means to praise. Commend.
Yay.
Please say it with me. Commend. 2 syllables. First syllable, k-a-m. 3 sounds. The is there to keep our vowel short. Close off that syllable. Next syllable, m-e-n-d. 4 sounds. Commend. Please make sure you double your Commend. Pick up your pencil and write it, please. Samhita?
This word kind of sounds like comment.
It does kind of sound like that. It's also quite similar to command.
Yep.
Okay, show me your word if you are finished. Commend. K-A-M, syllable break, and commend. Emma, would you mark the word for us, please?
Yes. The first syllable is it is what was I gonna say?
We pronounce it commend.
Thinking cap over the O.
Excellent.
Then double underline the second N.
Very well said.
And then
And the rest is basic code.
yes, it is.
I commend thee, Emma. It's the action of praising. It shall be a verb. Oh, does look like a big storm. Not as big as yesterday, maybe, but I agree. Shall we write the words in cursive?
Of course.
Oh, Tig, your majesty, Alina calls him. Let us write our words in cursive. It's
Thank you.
the
Everybody
font.
likes me now.
It's the font of the sovereigns. Let's write in cursive. Perceive, precipice, precipitation, and finally, commend. Okay, show me all of your cursive. Let me see your beautiful cursive, boys and girls. You should be about done now. Well done, Alexander, Josiah, Tig. Alina, please put to the whiteboard down and show me your cursive. Thank you, Arianch. Okay, for our cursive today, extra cursive practice, we're going to be writing a quote that is from Farmer Boy. We're going to do basically an extra idiom. This is not from our list of third grade idioms, but it ended up being in Farmer Boy. So, the quote is, make sure this is in the camera. This is going to come up in your reading today. One rotten apple will spoil a whole bin. Who's heard that before? One rotten apple will spoil a whole bin. Tig, do you know what that means?
Yes. It means that it means that okay, well, I'm not going to use the apple example, but I will use a people example. And that people example is, okay, imagine 10 people cramped into a tiny car, and 1 out of the 10 of them was a real sourpuss. And the rest of them were happy people in their early 20s. And the grumpy guy made crush their dreams, and then now they've turned into sourpusses too.
Very well said. Couldn't say it better myself.
Yay!
So this phrase comes from the literal meaning of actually rotten fruit. Once it starts to rot, it makes other fruit go bad too. But it happens with people too. Just like that example of a car full of people, if one person's grumpy, kind of makes everybody else grumpy. Or if there's one person who sets a bad example, sometimes they lead everybody else astray. So, one rotten apple. One rotten apple spoils. Oftentimes you hear the whole barrel, but in our book it's bin, so we'll put that. One rotten apple spoils the whole bin. And that's true. Sometimes one grumpy person makes everybody else grumpy. So don't be the rotten apple of the group. Don't be a grumpy sourpuss. You're just going to bring everybody down. Okay, Arshav, do you have your pencil? Marcus, do you have your pencil? Excellent. Please write one rotten apple spoils the whole bin. Oh, it's on the Muppet Show tag? That's how you learned it? Nice.
No, it's not. I was just saying it's the Muppet Show for fun. I think it's a very funny line for some reason.
Okay. You mean just saying it's the Muppet Show is a funny line?
To me, anyway.
Okay, so one rotten apple spoils the whole bin. That's going to be in your Farmer Boy reading for today. And once you're done with that, we're going to put away our binder and start on some literacy time. For literacy time today, you need your well-ordered language workbook. And I want to review some jingles. Now, we do have our conjunction jingle, but we also want to review some prepositions. Who can tell me what a preposition is according to our song? A preposition is what, Alexander?
I feel like I know the song. So a preposition.
A preposition
is a part of speech, right?
Is a part of speech.
You should show the relationship of a sentence
Between certain words in a sentence. Very good.
So close.
So close. Okay, actually, other than preposition, I also want to show, okay, page 140 is where we're going to start for well-ordered language time today. Page 140. And for the review section, it actually says to write all of the 8 parts of speech on a sheet of paper and define them from memory. Actually, I think that would be great for us to do. So we're going to do that on page 147 of your books. A little review of all of the parts of speech we've learned so far. Now, 7 of the 8 we should be able to define according to our jingle. So we're going to write these on the note page. Now, first of all, who can tell me the 8 parts of speech according to our song? The 8 parts of speech are... Saha Nasri?
The 8 parts of speech are classes of words with the same kinds of meanings and use. They are nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions, interjections. These are the 8 parts of speech. Classes of
Words with the same part of...
meaning and use.
Excellent. Okay, boys and girls, so let's list out the ones that were just in the song. It would be best to write these in cursive, but if you are very slow in your cursive, you may write them in print. And I'm going to list them like this. Nouns, verbs, adjectives.
What page?
Page 147 is a note page for you. Adverbs, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions, interjections. Now, interjections is the only one we haven't learned yet. You can just put a question mark. It is basically like the expressive words. Wow, hooray, yes. Those kind of expressive words are called interjections, but we don't know the actual definition because that's going to be in a 4th grade jingle for you. Now, you should know what a noun is according to our songs, though. Who remembers the noun jingle? A noun is a part of speech. Emma, can you sing it for us?
A noun is a part of speech. Wait.
It names a
person, place, or thing.
Yep.
A noun may be singular, or plural.
Very good. Let's write just a shortened version of it. We'll say names a person, place, or thing. There's more that we could write, but we don't have a ton of space. Person, place, or thing. We just listed 3 things, so make sure that you put commas in between your list. A noun is a part of speech. It names a person, place, or thing. Actually, and I'm going to take off the, I'm just going to make each of these singular so it goes with the song. Noun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, pronoun, conjunction, interjection. Now the verb song, who remembers that one? Samhita?
It's a long time, but I want to try. I forgot the beginning. One second. Can I go
A
to the
verb is a part of speech.
A verb is a part of speech. A verb shows action or a state of being.
Good. Good. Let's write that part. Shows action or a state of being. Marcus, it doesn't look like you're writing, bud. Remember that when I'm writing, you should be writing. We're on page 147. A verb shows action or a state of being. Samhita, that's all we're going to write, but could you finish the song for us? Do you remember anything else?
A verb is a part of speech. I don't remember. I need to look if I want to sing it.
A helping verb helps another verb.
To express its meaning. A helping verb helps another verb to express its meaning. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, has, have, had, do, does, did, may, might, must, should, could, would, shall, will, and can. A helping verb helps another verb to express its meaning. A helping verb helps another verb to express its meaning. I forgot the last part.
It is called an auxiliary.
Yeah. We haven't done
That's
that
not true.
in a long time.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a long time. It's good to review these older ones. Okay, now adjective. That's our weepy, sad one. Who remembers it? Arshab? Can you tell us the adjective one? I'll get you started.
I don't know how it goes.
I'll get you started on it. An adjective is a part of speech used to. What is it used to do?
Now.
Describe or define.
Yeah, I don't know it.
Oh, okay. Let's see if Kruthi can help you out. Kruthi, do you remember it?
Well, I remember where after you stopped singing.
Okay, you can keep going from there.
The meaning of a noun and a pronoun. It answers the questions how many, whose, which one, or what kind.
Good.
It modifies a noun or a pronoun.
Great job, Kruthi. That was exactly it. Let's write for the definition. Used to describe or define. Instead of the meaning of a, we'll say, since we're short on space, I'll just say a noun or pronoun. So I shortened it. There's a lot to the adjective definition, but we'll make it a little shorter. Used to describe or define the meaning of a noun or pronoun. And then the adverb jingle. I'm trying to remember the adverb, how that one goes. Samhita, do you remember that one? Actually, since you've done one, I'll have Alexander. Could you help with this one?
Sure. Adverb jingle, right?
Yes.
I think. Adverb. I don't remember the tune.
Okay. Emma, do you remember the tune or Samhita?
Maybe.
Is it the one that goes an adverb is a part of speech?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Samhita, could you sing that one?
An adverb is a part of speech. It modifies a verb or another adverb. It can also modify an adjective. It answers three questions, how, when, or where. It answers three questions, how, when, or where.
Great memory, Samhita. You know, like all the jingles. Okay, for that one, let's also make it a little bit shorter. Marcus, I know you're a little bit behind, but can you start catching up with each of these parts of speech and definitions? Otherwise, you're going to have to do it after class today. Okay, so an adverb is a part of speech. It modifies a verb or another adverb. We'll just put modifies a verb for the shortened definition. Alina?
Can I sing the preposition jingle?
Yes, I would love that.
Preposition. Is a part of speech.
Here, Alexander, that was beautiful, but I don't think you realized you were unmuted. Okay, Alina.
Okay, a preposition is a part of speech, is a part of speech.
Speech.
used to show the relationship between certain words in a sentence. A preposition is a part of speech, used to show the relationship between certain words in a sentence.
Very good. Now I'm going to have to shorten that definition to you. I'm just going to say shows the relationship between words. Okay, and pronoun. Who remembers this one? There's the one that's the subject pronoun, pronouns are in the nominative case. But isn't there one that's a general pronoun song? I'm having to go back and review. Pronoun. Oh yeah, a pronoun is a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. Emma, do you remember the tune to that one?
I think it goes like a pronoun is a part of speech. A pronoun is a. I think that's what it goes.
Actually, I think it's a little different. It looks like maybe Samhita remembers. I'll have her try this one out. I remember used in place of a noun or nouns.
So, wait, which one is it?
Just regular pronoun.
Noun is a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns.
That was great, Samhita. That's exactly it. Yes. Used in place of a noun or nouns. Beautiful singing, Samhita. And I only have space for a noun, so I'll just put used in place of a noun. And then finally, conjunction. Now there's the conjunction junction jingle, but I'll play this other one. I know, I like the conjunction junction one. A conjunction is a part of speech. It joins elements of the same phrase or name. When two or more words are joined this way, they're called compounds. A conjunction is a part of speech. It joins elements of the same rank or name.
Could we sing a little bit of the other conjunction song?
Okay, Emma, you can sing a little of the other one as write out this definition. Joins elements of the same rank or name.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Conjunction, junction.
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses.
Junction, junction, what's your function?
I've got and, but, nor, they'll take you pretty far.
Yeah, that's all kind of.
That's a catchy one, isn't it? I like that conjunction junction jingle. Okay, boys and girls, thumbs up if you are done with your 8 parts of speech. And interjection just should have a question mark. We don't have a definition for it. Okay, if you didn't finish, you can finish this along with the pages for homework today. It's going to be, once again, just straight from your jingles. And if you don't really remember the jingles, you've got all the lyrics in the back of the book, okay? So it's just a good review of the 8 parts of speech. For homework, you're going to do lesson C. There is one section where you have to subtract a subject in the conjunction and then change the verb accordingly. Like Winston and Theo play basketball changes to Winston plays. So for this one, instead of Peggy and Heidi eat, you could say just Heidi eats potato chips. Okay? So you'll take away one subject and then modify the verb. And then you'll have some sentences to analyze. Okay, that's all for well-ordered language time. At this point, you need to take out one index card for roots, and then you're also going to take out your orthography notebook. Yes, Kruti?
Can we play the junction song? Like the
Oh, okay. I'll play it in the background as we get our supplies out.
This is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond.
Can you hear it?
I can't hear it.
Junction, how's that function?
All right, but I need you to take out your supplies.
Most of my job done.
Junction,
What's
house,
that function? I got and button or
They'll get you pretty far.
And that's an additive like this and that. But that's sort of the opposite. Not this, but that. And then there's or, when you have a choice like this or that.
Bum, bum.
But more, get you pretty far. Conjunction, what's your function? Hooking up two boxcars and making them run right. Milk and honey, bread and butter, peas and rice.
Hey, that's nice.
Dirty but happy, digging and scratching, losing your shoe and a button or two. He's poor but honest, sad but true. Boo-hoo!
Okay, we'll have to stop it there, but that's such a fun one. Okay, time for orthography. Let's start with our words in the back, and then we're going to write in just one spot for today. And then we'll get to one new root card. So all you need is one new index card today. Okay, for lesson 94, the first word, perceive. Perceive. Yes, Ariansh?
So can we do this like since the I think it's either a quiz or mastery test, but when we take can we take it today? Like, can we just tell our parents which lessons to start from, saying the words, and end from saying the words, and we can just take the test today?
You can do it as a practice test, but for the real test, I give the words and everything. But that's a good question. You can definitely do a practice test.
I meant like an actual, like that will count as a real test, and we could submit it today and be done with
No, because the teacher has to give it.
that. Aw.
So, okay, so we had perceive. Next is precipice. And then after that, we'll do precipitation. And actually, I'm going to change my mind on roots. We are short on time, so I'm going to have us hold off on roots for today. And finally, the last one was commend. Commend. Okay, and last thing to do is sort in the IE or EI page, which is page 8. Because today we had the pattern of CEI for perceive, just like deceive and receive. So we're going to write that with those. Perceive.
What page is it again?
8.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all. We're just going to do receive on page 8 as the only one to sort. And we need to get started on math, so we're going to skip over the rest of roots. We'll finish them up tomorrow, either in class or I might have to post some. But we need to start on some fractions today. So please take out your math notebook. And who copied off or printed off the fraction strips yesterday? Great job. Rishith has his. Aryansh has his. Great. Now, excellent. Sahanasri has hers cut up into the little strips in her baggie. I think that that's going to be helpful for you, especially as you're comparing to. But if it works better for you just to have it printed off on one page, you can keep it like that. But if you do have it cut up into strips like Sahanasri was showing, then you're going to be able to compare them kind of like these. So that if you know that, you know, like this is 1/8 compared to 1/4, well, it takes 2/8 to equal 1/4. So you'll be able to kind of use it like that to actually like lay them on top of each other. Did you get a chance to color your Sahanasri? Because it would end up being best if like all of your fourths are the same color, all the like fractions, and then like all the eighths are the same color. Not yet? Okay, that might be a good thing for you to do today if you have time. Yes, Rishith? Great, Josiah got his done. And Aryansh, if it helps you, you can just keep it in that one page. Yes, Rishith?
Okay. I just noticed that that after 10 there's no 11, and after 6 there's no 7.
Can you hold up what you're talking about? I'm a little confused.
Over here, after 6 there's no 7. There's 7 fraction.
Oh, yeah, they just do even numbers, I think. Except for the thirds, it just goes to eighths and then tenths, twelfths. Because we're going to be mainly working with even numbers, although occasionally you'll work with thirds. That's the most common one. That's an odd number that you'd be working with. Now, we're going to work up to fractions in the twelfths. That's the biggest we're going to get to. Or I should say the smallest fraction we'll get to. And you're going to use your multiplication and division facts to really help you with that. So I'm going to clear this off for right now. And you can use those fraction strips during our class time and when you do your homework. I think that they will help you once again, especially as we get to comparing, so that you can see which one's bigger and how many it takes to be equal. Like this is 1/4. 2/8. We're going to talk about equivalent fractions in this unit, and that will be a good hands-on way of helping you if you need that hands-on way. Okay. Now, let's open up our math notebook. We are going to be taking some notes today. Please begin by writing your name and date at the top of the page. It does not have to be in cursive for these math notes. I'm just doing the heading in cursive. This is math lesson 14.1. Okay, please write that at the top of your math notebook. Looks like we're waiting for maybe Marcus, Josiah, and Emma to get their math notebooks. Oh, do you have yours, Josiah? You were just off to the side. Okay. We need our math notebook. That's what we're writing in. Okay, so we're going to talk today about just understanding fractions. So the different elements of a fraction. Now, we can make one whole, it says here, with more than 4 equal parts. I think that the most you've ever done is fractions in fourths. But we're going to work with fractions up to 12ths. Okay, and let's read these together. This fraction here we call 1/6. That's how we read it. Dikshita, would you say 1/6?
1/6.
Good. We're skipping right to 1/6 because I think that when you were second graders, you worked up to 1/4 or 1/5. That was the most you did. And now we're getting to these fractions. These are new. Tig, could you finish reading the rest of the chart for us?
Okay. Where are you?
Okay.
Okay. 1/3.
So after 1/6 is 1.
After 1/6 is 1/8.
On this chart, do you see, you might need to pin my screen if you're not able to see this. 7th, good. And then
1/8.
good,
1/9.
good,
1/10.
good.
1/11. 1/12.
Good. Thank you very much, Tig. Now, boys and girls, you all in your fraction strips do not have all of these numbers, but you can have any number from 1 to, millions or billions. It can be an infinite number of options for this denominator. But we're going to mainly be working with numbers from 2 to 12. That's what we're going to be focusing on with that denominator. So we say 1/6, 1/7, 1/8. You notice the at the end of each one? We say that because it's 1 out of 11. So it's part of that whole amount. Right. Now we call this number at the top our numerator and the number at the bottom our denominator. Actually, we're going to get into that in just a little bit later. Okay, this next part says this whole is divided into blank equal groups or equal parts. How many parts of this shape, how many parts are there of this total shape? Marcus? How many parts of the whole are there?
There are 6 parts in total.
Good. So this one part of the 6 is shaded. So what would we call this fraction?
1 out of 6 or 1/6.
Good. And 1 out of 6 is a correct way of saying it, but we're going to specifically focus on reading it like these. So you should always be reading your fractions as like 1/6, 1/7. Okay? Make sure you're saying them like that. Let's write that as an example in your work or your notebook, I mean. So just for sake of ease, let's draw a circle rather than the hexagon that they have and divide it into 6 parts. That's not quite equal, I know, but we've got 6 parts. Try to make it as equal as possible, though. Let me try this again. I'll start with an X. That's a little closer to equal. So if one of them is shaded, and this is number 1 for you, we say 6 equal parts Okay, so write 6 equal parts. One-sixth is the fraction name, which we read as 1/6. Let me write that down here, actually. We read that as 1/6. So draw a picture of it. Say 6 equal parts, 1/6, or 1/6 is the way we write it. Show it to me when you're done, please. It looks like several people are not writing. If you're not writing, I'm assuming you're finished. And if you're finished, you should hold it up like Alexander. Thank you, Alexander. Marcus, I shouldn't have to call your name, bud. When I start writing, you start writing. Remember that? Show me your math notebook. Do you have it out? Good job, Emma. It's out, but it's not open, bud, and we've already done one problem. You've got to move a little faster, okay? Excellent job, boys and girls. Now, this is what we would call a unit fraction because it's only one part. But we're also going to get into non-unit fractions. Here's an example of a non-unit fraction. This model shows a whole with 5 equal parts. 2 parts are red, 3 parts are yellow. If we were to ask what fraction of the whole is red, what would you say? 2 of the 5 parts is red, so what is that as a fraction? Rishith?
Two-fifths.
Perfect. 2/5. Let's write this as an example. I'm going to just draw a bar, kind of like a bar model with 1, 2, 3, 5 parts. If 2 of the 5 parts are shaded, let me make this a little bit more even. 2/5 is shaded in this example. That's a non-unit fraction. And the way we read that is 2/5. Instead of 2/5, it's 2/5 because there's 2 parts. It's plural. Alexander?
If you didn't count the ones that color it in, like the ones that aren't there, would be 3/5.
Good. Yeah, we could write that as extra. 3/5 is not shaded, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to write this a little bit more neatly on the dotted lines, like this. Okay, now let's do the next problem. Could I have Josiah help with this one? Now, we first need to count up how many parts there are in this, and then we're going to count up how many are shaded. Can you count up the total parts first? Good, 10. Now, how many of those 10 parts are shaded?
6.
Good. So we would say 6/10 are shaded. How many are not shaded?
4.
Good. And we could say 6/10 and 4/10 make one whole. Okay, let's move on to this next part, numerators and denominators. Now, in this example, 2/3 of the circle are shaded. We call the 2 the numerator.
I don't know using the sound not say that. I don't know.
The numerator is how many parts are shaded. The denominator is always the number of equal parts in the whole. So it's always the whole amount. All right, let's write that too in your math notebook. So a numerator and let's point it to a 2 and denominator. 3. And that's an example of it. 2 parts are shaded out of the whole, which is 3. The denominator is always the whole amount. How many parts are there in total? Harika, are you writing this, sweetie? Marcus, are you writing this? Numerator, denominator, and then there's the picture as an example. Very good. Okay, any questions about this so far? Yes, Aryansh?
So on this sheet of paper, if we choose to cut out the strips, do we have to cut out the entire strip, or do we have to cut out the entire strip and cut them, like there's a line right here for the one half? Do we have to cut it like that too?
I would cut it also into equal parts, yes. So like your one half would be two separate pieces.
Okay. And one hole is just one hole. It's not just a strip.
That's right. One hole you would not cut into different parts. Okay, boys and girls, let's do a little quick practice on your whiteboards now. Can you take out your whiteboards, and I'm going to have you write answers on those whiteboards. And then if we have still a little extra time, we may get into the next lesson that we would start tomorrow, because that's going to get into the equivalent fractions that are going to be a little bit trickier possibly. So I want to spend more time on that. Okay, who has a whiteboard and marker handy to do a little quick review? Yes, Josiah?
Nothing.
Okay. So let's begin with this one right up here. Get your whiteboard and marker out. If you don't have it yet, it should be pretty quick. Harika, it looks like you're a little distracted over there. Do you have your whiteboard and marker? Perfect. Okay, now blank of the circle is shaded. Tell me how much of this circle is shaded. You'll need to count up the number of equal parts. Harika, sweetie, maybe your sister's there with you, and also you've got your snack. I need you to try to keep that until later, after math time. You can eat and talk to your sister, okay? Hold up your whiteboard with your answer, please, boys and girls. How much of the circle is blue? Excellent. Okay, now boys and girls, 6/8 is correct. Great job for those of you who got that. Now erase your board and tell me just what the numerator is. What is the numerator in the fraction you just wrote? What is the numerator? Very good. Marcus, hold yours up. You should have your whiteboard. What is the numerator in this fraction? How many pieces are shaded? Good. 6 is the numerator. That's how many are shaded. Now erase your board. Erase the board, please. Aryansh, you're jumping ahead. I don't want other people to just look at your answer and not answer it for themselves. Harika, same with you. You didn't even know what the problem was, sweetie. Erase the board. Okay, now what is the denominator or total number of parts? Dikshita, that's how many are unshaded, but can you tell me what the denominator is, the total number of parts? Not what's unshaded, but what is the denominator? Okay, very good. Now erase your boards. The answer should have been 8 for that one. Now for the next one, don't hold it up until I tell you to. I don't want people to look at each other's boards until everybody's ready. What fraction is shaded? Write it as a number and in words. What fraction is shaded? You're going to choose which of these two numbers it is, and then also choose it in words. And then I'll tell you when to turn your board around. Alexander?
Can you move it up a bit? Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Thumbs up if you're done. You wrote the number and the word form. Okay, show me your answers, please. You should all be ready to go. Show me your answers. Marcus, you should already have it on your board. Marcus, don't look at your classmates. It looks like you're waiting for your classmates to answer, but I know you know this. You can do it on your own. Excellent job for those of you who wrote 1/6 in number form and word form. You need to write it in both number form and word form.
It took me a little while to do it.
That's okay, Emma. Next up, let's do this one. It says Jane wants a number train with 10 cubes. She starts by connecting 7 cubes. How many more cubes does she need to connect? Right? How many more she needs? How many more? You can just hold it up when you're done. Good. 3 is the correct answer. Now, what fraction of the number train has she already connected? What is already there out of what needs to be there? Marcus, if she has 7 and she wants 10, how much does she already have as a fraction? Excellent. 3/7. Sorry. You're thinking of what still needs to be there. How many does she have out of the total 10? Boys and girls, the numerator is going to be how many she has already. So write what she has as the numerator. The denominator is how much she needs. She needs 10 total. Please write that as a fraction. The correct answer should be 7/10. I see some confusion with that one. Okay. She has 7. 10 is the total number of parts needed. Does that make sense? If you did not write 7/10, correct your answer now. 7 is how many parts she has out of a possible 10. 10 is what she needs. All right, let's do another one like that. What fraction of the cubes has she not yet connected? Think about what she still needs out of the total. Tig, 7/3 is not the fraction. 7/10. Can you change it to 7/10 from before? And then let's think through what she still needs. Okay, I see some confusion on this one. Put your boards down until everybody is finished, okay, boys and girls? Alina, put your board down for now, please. Okay. Again, it says, what fraction of the cubes has she not yet connected? How many more did she need? Do you guys remember? Good, Emma. That's your numerator. Make that your numerator. And how many does she need in total? That's the denominator. Tig, not quite yet. We've got to make that a fraction, not just 3, but what fraction of the cubes has she not connected yet? Give me a thumbs up when you're done. Don't show me your answers yet. Just give me a thumbs up if you're done. Okay. The correct answer for this, actually, Marcus, you've got to do it before we show the answer. I need you to think of the answers on your own first. What fraction is not yet connected? Can you show it to me? Marcus? The number that she still needs to connect is how many? All right, we can't wait around forever, boys and girls, but you've got to do the problems immediately. Yes, ma'am? Okay, we can't spend lots of minutes on a single problem just because you're not getting your supplies out. If there's confusion, we'll cover that, but you can't just wait around. Do you understand, boys and girls? Okay, now 3/10 is what she still needs. Let me see those answers. Who got it right? 3/10. She still needs 3 out of the 10 cubes. And if you add those together, it's 10/10. That's the total. Okay, very good, boys and girls. We are out of time now. You are going to be putting this into practice with your workbook today. You're going to start your workbook pages 91 and 92, identifying fractions. You'll have some practice of writing it out in word form. Right, so that's what it is for page 91, writing the word form to make a whole and filling it in the extra fractions. Some of these are all over the place, but just count up the part that's shaded. And you'll have some practice of writing what the numerator is and then the denominator. Okay. That is all for math today, boys and girls. Thank you all for working very hard on this. It is time for reading groups now. So I'll just have my Thursday group, Treasure Island group, stay with me, and everybody else have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
That's me. Bye.